There was this one time I was helping a celebrity client at her home. She wanted to select a necklace for an upcoming event. And she said to me, "Oh, I really want something that just points straight at the ladies and says, 'Look at me.'" I laughed so hard. We set her up with a lovely triangular cut sapphire pendant that pointed straight at her cleavage. It was princess length, so with a low cut dress it pointed straight down. It was very funny, and she could flaunt it. It looked wonderful on her. Oh no, I couldn't say who it was. Privacy reasons and all that. Welcome to Tingle. Very lovely to see you today. We'll be discussing the different necklace lengths that there are. It can be very important when choosing out a piece of jewelry to wear around your neck to understand the different lengths and sizes. This can be particularly useful if you are shopping online and aren't able to try the chain on yourself. By understanding what lengths correspond to what name and thus what look they will provide, it can empower you to fit the necklace to the look you're trying to achieve. Now, there are a number of names that get thrown around in the jewelry world. Some of these are more obvious and you probably know what they mean, and some are less obvious. But I like to start from the beginning just to make sure that you understand all of them completely. We'll go through the definitions of these different necklace lengths and a little brief understanding of what they're usually good for. And then finally we'll discuss the interaction between necklace length and face shape and a couple other aspects of body. We'll touch that only really briefly. We probably would like to have an individual session with a number of necklaces to try on to really show you how that works for you, so we can do that another time. Now, let's begin. We have two aids to help us in this discussion. We have our necklace bust, and we have this chain reference guide, which shows us where different lengths sit on the neck. But the first one we'll discuss doesn't show up on this document, and then that is a 14-inch collar length. This is very tight around the neck, and it works best with open-necked clothing such as scooped necks, V-necks, off the shoulders, or lovely boat necks. The next length is the choker length. So 16 inches is the longest length of a choker. the 14 inches collar is the low end, so it sits in between those two lengths. And with the choker, we see a necklace that sits high and close to the neckline. And these are generally good for almost everything. They particularly look good on a long, thin neck. If you think of Aunt Petunia from the Harry Potter books, with her long, nosy neck, a choker would be perfect for her. Now we move on to a very classic length, and that is the princess. The princess will be between 16 and 18 inches, so sitting right in this area. You can see it's actually quite a wide range. So you could have a 16 inch, a 17 inch, or an 18 inch. And all of those would be considered a princess. The reason it's called a princess is because it is a very elegant and classy length. It's almost universal. It sits between the lower neck and the bust line. And as I said, pretty much everyone looks good in a princess length necklace. After our princess length, we have our matinee length. It sits between 20 and 24 inches, almost double what a choker length is. And for the matinee length, this sits right at the bust line. Now, a matinee length generally looks good for both business and casual. It's also good if you have a wide, short neck. It does help to elongate the neck since it draws the eye downward. Next, we have the opera length, which sits between 28 and 32 inches. Opera length goes to the bottom of the bust, it rests at the rib cage. It's a very deep necklace. Opera length can also be doubled around the neck and used as a double choker. And so it offers a variety of options, the opera length. The opera length is great for high necklines and elegant evening wear. That's why it's called the opera length. It's perfect for a night at the opera, at the symphony, black tie events, and the like. Opera length is perfect for these sort of events. Our final length is the rope length. Anything longer than 32 inches, so the 36 that we see here, would be considered the rope length. These can be twisted around in multitude to create two lengths, or they can be worn very long. They tend to be used for elegant evening, but they can also be used for business wear as well. Very versatile and lovely length are the rope length necklaces. So that is our basics. We have the collar, the choker, the princess, the matinee, the opera, and the rope. Now we also have a few others. We have multi-strand. These can come in varying lengths. They often look very elegant, multiple strands together, very classy, beautiful look. You can think of a multi-strand pearl necklace. Beautiful. We also have the dog collar. This is a short multi-strand with the longest length usually being 16 to 18 inches. So it can be a rather short multi-strand necklace. Sits up very high, still elegant and beautiful. We also have the bib. This is 3 or more concentric strands, the lowest not exceeding matinee length, and the highest is typically choker length. Now that we understand those, just discuss a few notes for our various face shapes and how they interact with the necklace lengths. For those with an oval face shape, really any length will work. Ovals are versatile with hair styles, and this is the same with necklaces. Any length generally tends to work with an oval. The caveat to that is that height, body size, and proportions do need to be taken into account. So that can make things vary. It does vary by individual. Those with a round face generally look better with a longer necklace. Very often a pendant, something to really draw the eye downward, helps to create the illusion of a round face shape. And if it creates a V, that's even better. If you remember, with a round face shape, you're often trying to create angles where you can break up the circular nature. And so a nice V necklace can really help with that. For a heart-shaped face, a nice round choker can smooth out the angles of the face. This is the opposite with that angular chin. You want to create a bit of roundness, which a choker will do. And that's similar for a rectangle or square face shape. Very round necklaces, particularly close up to the face, help break up the angles and create a bit of curve. Very flattering. A couple notes on body shape. Shorter women can become overwhelmed with very long necklaces or very chunky designs. So if you are on the shorter side, it's best to stick with necklaces that are elegant and shorter and small, not too chunky. And as I mentioned with the oval face, and this holds for every face and every person, you need to take into account the height, the length of the torso, and the leg. If you have a very long torso, a 16-inch may look more like a 14-inch on you. So these are rough guides, but your own individual measurements will really determine where a necklace sits on you. So it's best to individually understand what length corresponds to a collar, to a choker, to a princess, to a matinee, to an opera, and to a rope for your individual